gentlemen, this is our final first round matchup in the Golden Gate Invitational. Introducing first, females from Portland, Oregon, weighing in at 171 pounds, Tornado Tony Kozina.
And welcome to our final first round match in the Golden Gate Invitational, the first annual, hopefully it'll be annual, presented by BayAreaWrestling.com. And I said Jardy France earlier, maybe the odds-on favorite, but you got to remember this man right here, Super Dragon. He seems to be the crowd favorite, and if I got to pick somebody, I say Super Dragon as my favorite. I know the announcer shouldn't be biased, and I call it down the middle when I call the matches, but I say Super Dragon as my favorite. He'll be facing off against Tony Kozina, who comes from Portland, Oregon. Tony Kozina is a superstar all over the country as well as Canada. Super Dragon's got a height and weight advantage over Tony Kozina. You can clearly see that, but don't put Tony Kozina out. This man can wrestle with the best of them. One of the best wrestlers, pound for pound, I've ever seen. And he's as tough as nails, I'll tell you that much. Super Dragon coming in at a perfect 6 feet tall and a perfect 200 pounds. Comes from Orange County, California. As I said, Kozina from Portland, Oregon. One all the way north, one all the way south. Kozina 174, 5'6". And Kozina's got the arm of Super Dragon. He's on top early in this matchup. Super Dragon now. Hammerlock applied onto Kozina. And look at Super Dragon go. Many people think he's just a high-flying spot machine. But if you saw that Iron Man match last night at APW's Christmas Chaos, then, I mean, that's the one match that'll change your mind. He's had match of the years all over. He's been the 2001 SoCal Wrestler of the Year. He's been in matches of the year in SoCal. I mean, this guy can mat wrestle with the best of them. You don't get all the acclaims he does by just being a spot machine. And now Kozina on top of Super Dragon. And Kozina doesn't go without his accolades. Look at right there, the shoulder tackle. And look at Kozina go. He gets caught, though, in the submission from Super Dragon. No, drop toe hold from Kozina. As I was saying, Kozina doesn't go without his accolades. He is a former NWA light heavyweight champion. And he is a very decorated veteran wrestler. Kozina forced to break the hold. Super Dragon was able to reach the ropes. You've barely seen just the beginning of what these two wrestlers can bring you. And look at Kozina. You don't see too much martial arts from Tony Kozina. Dragon off the ropes and back into a tie-up. And these two are showing you some of the best wrestling you've seen here. Tony Kozina up. Oh, and Tony Kozina down. German suplex right there from Super Dragon. Tony Kozina's on the outside of the ring trying to take a break. And you hear the chants for the Super Dragon in the middle of the ring. Him as well as the other SoCal superstars have got a lot of fans up here who followed him to see the show here at BayAreaWrestling.com's Golden Gate Invitational. And here you go, Super Dragon with his questionable morals. Stepping on Kozina's face, but I guess you got to do what you got to do. Max Marquez is going to keep, Tom Castor is going to keep everything clean. Super Dragon. Oh! Wow, you see the weight right in the middle of Kozina's back. Super Dragon with a double foot stomp right in the middle of Kozina's back. So far, let me recap you the 3 people so far advancing are Bobby Quance, Jardy France, and B-Boy. They all won in their first round tournament matches. And we also had the ECCW NWA Pacific Northwest Tag Team Championships change hands yet again here in the garage in Hayward, California, as Skag Rollins and Seth Knight defeated Larry Blackwell and James Watkins when Kryptonite accidentally hit James Watkins in the head with his cast, costing the Blackout Army the matchup and the belts that they just won the prior night. Back to the matchup. Super Dragon now snapmare takeover onto Tony Kozina. And he's locking in that patented submission of his. It brings the shoulder blades in together, and this is the only way I've seen it can be reversed is to try to lean back as hard as you can to pin the Super Dragon and force him to break the hold. As you see him though, he's holding his legs, making sure Kozina has a hard time breaking it. Oh, Super Dragon, he's cutting it close there by holding that hold while he's in the pin. You hear Kozina using all of his muscle to bend over the Super Dragon. Super Dragon wisely leans over a little bit, and Kozina, you see him trying to lean back for another pin. But Super Dragon's leaned on his side, and he's pulling his legs, cutting off the wind at Kozina, preventing him from catching some breath. And you see him trying to go for the pin, but Super Dragon has wisely turned on his side, preventing the pin. And you see Tony Kozina, he's reaching for the ropes.
5 minutes has gone down this matchup. 5 minutes.
Kozina's almost reaching the ropes. You see he just missed it by a centimeter there, and he's got the ropes. Rope break. Super Dragon's forced to break the hold. He's got Kozina by the hair. Referee Tom Casser's got to keep his eye on that. Super Dragon going for it, attempting a cycle driver. Tony Kozina able to block it. Scoop and a slam by Kozina, but his back, that took a lot out of Tony Kozina's back. Tony Kozina appeared to be going for a tombstone. Oh, wow. Almost like a reverse pedigree maneuver right there. Oh, and that almost was it. I've never seen that before. Tony Kozina showing that he can think of all the innovative maneuvers that these Southern Californians can think of as well. Excellent innovative maneuver there from Tony Kozina. Misses the spinning tornado DDT. Super Dragon blocks it and takes a break in the corner. And decidedly so after taking that inverted type pedigree maneuver from Tony Kozina. Excellent move. Spinning wheel kick right in the head. Right in the head. This could be it. And oh my, rewind your decks and look at that. Put that in slow-mo and you'll see Super Dragon's foot come right in the head of Tony Kozina. Powerbomb situation here. Oh! Kozina, another innovative maneuver I haven't seen before. I think Tony knew what he was getting into when he came to fight one of these SoCal superstars here in the Golden Gate Invitational. So he put his pen and paper down and he thought of his own moves to bring to this show. Super Dragon misses his clothesline. Chops now on the Super Dragon. He's got the protective chest on though. Now look at Tony Kozina going on him like an animal. Oh, Super Dragon up and over to reverse. Going into the turnbuckle and Tony Kozina is scouted. That's the second time Super Dragon's been scouted while doing that maneuver. Dragon's out there in the war zone now. Tony Kozina flips over into the Hurricane Rana. What a maneuver by Tony Kozina. And you hear the chants GGI for the Golden Gate Invitational. Tony Kozina has got Super Dragon on Super Dragon's back. And Super Dragon's in danger of losing this matchup. And you hear the fans, they see that as well, and they're trying to rally behind the Super Dragon. Tony Kozina, what a move. Almost a 3 count on the Super Dragon. Also last night announced was that the Super Dragon has signed a contract with All Japan Pro Wrestling. All Japan Wrestling, he will be heading out there early 2003. We want to congratulate him on that. Tony Kozina going up top for what looked to be like a double axe handle or possibly a tornado DDT, gets caught with a forearm by Super Dragon. It was also announced last night at APW's Christmas Chaos that Nikki will be heading to Japan as well. The second woman in as many years to be sent to Japan by APW. The first was Melissa. Tony Kozina now reverses the go behind Super Dragon. German suplex. He holds on and rolls through. Kozina now could be attempting the second one. Cross arm German suplex. And Tony Kozina just continues to impress. And look at this maneuver. Oh, Kozina, Tony Kozina showing his strength and his brains as he just continues to annihilate the Super Dragon with suplexes. That time sat him up like electric chair up on his shoulder. Still had his arms crossed from the previous hold. And this has got to get inside Kozina's head though. The fans that are here for Super Dragon. Kozina just shows us some of the most impressive maneuvers we've seen in quite a while. And the crowd is still behind the Super Dragon. They're trying to rally some support behind him. Tony Kozina though, he's got the figure 4 locked in tight. Super Dragon struggling to reach the ropes. Dragon able to reach the ropes, but before the rope break is even asked for, Tony Kozina brings him back out. Wise decision by Tony Kozina. Very smart wrestler. And here he's got an inverted figure 4 locked in on Super Dragon. Super Dragon able to reach the ropes. Tony Kozina with the inverted figure 4. Tony Kozina showing everybody here at the garage that he can make up moves with the best of them. You hear those chops. Those seem to be getting through the Super Dragon's chest protector. Super Dragon sitting to the ropes. Tony Kozina, oh, gets caught in the cartwheel. Super Dragon hits that super clothesline in the back. This could be it. 2 count from Tom Castor. You hear the chants for the Super Dragon. What a power bomb. Folds him up. And you hear the fans, they want the Psycho Driver. The Super Dragon's finishing maneuver. Look at this submission. Dragon's got his legs locked, and that's it. That's it. Super Dragon had Tony Kozina's legs locked and grabbed his head, wrenched back in it, almost like a dragon sleeper. And Super Dragon advances. He is the 4th man to advance from the first round into the second round here. So now you have the Super Dragon, Bobby Quance, Jardy France, and B-Boy. And it will be interesting to see how these tag team competitors will tag up. Will it be the 2 SoCal superstars, Super Dragon and B-Boy, versus the 2 APW superstars? Another show of respect. We're 4 for 4 now. Will it be Super Dragon and B-Boy, the 2 SoCal guys, teaming up with each other to try to keep it all in SoCal? Or will it be the 2 APW superstars teaming up with each other? Or will they mix it up? It'll be very interesting to see how this plays out.